guys, welcome back to the second lecture of the market structure series. In today's lecture, we're going to go over order types and attributes. So we go back to our previous example of order book where we have ask and bid side. So the first order that we're going to look through is market order, right? So the market order is the most simple one. It's basically the order that we want to execute as soon as possible. Basically, when we send the market order, it just crosses the, let's say we send the buy order, right? We say buy, right? Let's say buy, let's say 50 shares, right? Of some stock, right? So what will happen is that the buy order would actually come in to the book and we'll try to cross right away, right? It will see what's available on the other side. It will see there's like, let's say there's 100 shares on the other side. It will say, okay, can I get 50 please? And the exchange will just fill it, right? This is a simple one. Of course, you're never guaranteed whether you're gonna get this price, right? $101. You might get the worst price if by the time your order arrives to the exchange, the ask moved. So it's a bit dangerous, but at least it guarantees you the execution, right? If there's any orders available, right? So let's say if you're closing for the day or something like this, sometimes you want to send a market order. The other popular order is a limit order. Limit order is basically sends the order to exchange and it gives the price. For example, you can send the limit order at say $99, right? For your favorite stock and just sit there, right? Let's say you send it for 50 shares. You sit there with your 50 shares for $99 waiting for the for the ask to pick it up, your order. In this case, right, you know what the price will be, but you don't guarantee the execution, right? So then other popular order is a stop loss order. Or some people use a stop buy order, which is used rarely. But so stop loss basically, you have, let's say you have a position, right? Let's say you have a position of 100 shares, right, of some stock that you bought, and now you want to make sure that when ask breaches, say, let's say $90, right? $90, you want to make sure you get out of your position because you're a bit worried that 10% loss, I might get me more trouble. So you put the stop loss order. What the stop loss means, that means as soon as the price reaches $90, execute it. And by default, it's a stop market order. Basically, when the ask price reaches $90, the exchange will show up your order that is market order. So technically, you can actually execute worse, right? So let's say your stop loss was triggered at 90, but by the time your order actually was marketable, right, the price ended up being 88. So you actually might get executed worse, right? The other type of stop loss order is a stop limit order. You can say that when the price breaches 88, when the price breaches 90, I want to send my order at $89, right? For example, at least then you know that you know your execution price, right? So you know that you're gonna be executed at least like 89 or above. Obviously, it's not guaranteed, so there's a possibility that your stop loss breaches at 90, but then the price ends up being 88 when you get visible, and price keeps dropping, right? So, but stop limit order might be safer for certain people, right? All right. So now, next, let's look at the attributes of orders, right? So let's look at the day first, right? Meaning that what's the duration of your order, right? Let's say you put the order to buy a certain amount of shares. How long you want that order to be on the book, right? The most common one is day. So you send an order to your broker, and I think by default they set it to day. So let's say by 4 p.m. That order will get canceled if it's not executed, right? Other popular one is good till cancel. And good till cancel basically will stay for a long time. I think on average in US, the brokerage usually limit to 90 days. Obviously check with your broker, but I think that's like the popular timeline. Another one is immediate or cancel. And that's exactly what it means. So either execute it right away or cancel it. And another popular one is a fill or kill. So basically you want to either fill the full amount or kill the order. So let's say you want to avoid the partial fills, right? Sometimes this is important when you have some regulatory requirements. Say you only can execute 3 trades a month or something like this, right? And you want to make sure you get the full. All right, the last one, we'll look at the visibility attribute, right? So normal limit orders are lit orders, right? They're visible. So basically when you show up on the book, everybody sees it, happy days, right? The other type is a hidden. Hidden is very popular when somebody wants to get rid of massive position, and what they do, they basically put the order maybe a little bit better than BBO, right? And then every time the other side crosses, you execute against the hidden liquidity. And there are some hedge funds that try to detect that. They try to detect what's the volume on the hidden side. That's how they can determine whether how big the liquidity out there. And the last one that we can look at is the iceberg. Iceberg is basically what it stands for. You can imagine it as like legit iceberg, right? Let's say so look something like this, and then only this part is visible. Let's say 50 shares is visible, but the whole order actually is 500. So what happens is the market participants, they see that 50, right, and say they execute against 50. What happens is then the exchange is instructed that, okay, like 50 get executed, now we have 450 left, now put another 50, make it visible again, and now we have only 400 in iceberg, right, not 500 anymore. So we have 400 below the visibility and 50 visible. This is also very popular, say you want to get rid of massive position, so you just show a little and keep extending. I hope you guys like this video. Please let me know in the comments if I missed some important concept. I can reshoot the video, I can add additional video. I hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe.